Hey guys, thanks for joining me today for this gentle flow. Let's get started. Go ahead and begin in an easy seated position. Whatever that looks like for you. Could be both legs out, one leg in, one leg out, or both legs together. Wherever you're at, go ahead and place your hands on your knees. And let's become aware of our natural breath. Inhale and we exhale. Start centering here, becoming aware of our surroundings, of the sensation of the ground beneath us. Paying attention to our thoughts as they arise in our mind, and choosing to let them go, to focus on our breath and become aware of how our body, our breath, and our mind are all connected. Let's take a few deep breaths here. Inhale, expanding the belly, and exhale, letting go of all tension, any frustration you may be holding. Inhale, peace, and exhale, anything you may be holding on today. On our next inhale, raise your palms up, and exhale, twist to one side, leaving that opposite hand on your knee, and the back hand resting on the floor behind you. On your next inhale, sit tall and twist deeper into that side. Inhale, tall. Exhale and relax. Take another breath here on your own. On your next inhale, come back to center. And exhale to the other side. We want to keep our spine as straight as we can on our inhales. And exhale, relax the shoulder, twist a little bit deeper. Here's a reminder to you that you should not feel any pain in yoga. You may feel discomfort, but never pain. On your next inhale, come back to center. And we'll shift over and come onto our hands and knees. Let's go ahead and press our palms into the mat. Bring that right leg up and behind us. On our next inhale, we'll bring it around to the outside of our hands. I'm going to start with an easy lizard lunge. If you're just starting your day out, please be mindful not to overstretch here and listen to your body. If you're feeling good, maybe you can come down onto your forearms if that's good for you. No judgment here, whatever your body needs. If you need a little bit deeper stretch, feel free to press on the inside of your knee. Remember to stay centered with your breath here. Focus on your inhales and your exhales. On your next inhale, come back up to your palms if you're not already. We'll heel toe that foot a little bit closer to the midline into our runner's lunge. Your back should be straight here and your knee on the floor. We'll lift our chest, push our hips back into a half split, and point those toes to the ceiling. You may feel sensations here on the back of your hamstring. Point and flex your toe. Rotate your ankle. Find out what feels good for you here. We're going to flow with our breath here, coming back into our runner's lunge on the inhale. Exhale, back into our half split. And we'll flow with our breath on our inhale, runner's lunge. And exhale, half split. We'll flow 2 more breaths at your own speed. Really warming up that hip socket. Let's make our way back into our runner's lunge. And we'll walk that foot out to the left side of our mat. And bring that knee down for pigeon. This may take some adjusting here, either bringing your hips closer, adjusting your foot either towards the top of your mat or closer to your body. Whatever is feeling good for you today. If you're looking for more of an active stretch, push off our tips of our fingers into a baby back bend. And on your exhale, lower down either to your forearms if it's comfortable, or you can stay right here. We'll stay for a few breaths here, becoming aware of the sensations in our hamstring and our hip, what that feels like for us. On your next inhale, walk those hands back up, press into the mat, tuck your left toe, and let's kick that right leg back into a high plank. We'll stay here for 2, 1 more breath, and lower those knees. On your next inhale, kick that left leg back. Inhale to the outside of your left hand. Come back into lizard lunge on this left side. You can stay right here, or come back down to your forearms, or take that other option, pressing the inside of your knee out, deepening that stretch. Remember that we're not symmetrical beings. One side maybe feel different than the other, and that's okay. Just become aware of that. On your next inhale, rise up to your palms. Let's heel toe that foot towards the center, just enough to get to our runner's lunge with your left hand, the outside of your foot. On your exhale, push back into our half split, toes pointing the ceiling, and we'll flex back and forth, stretching out the heel and the backs of our legs. On your next inhale, we'll flow back and forth with the breath. Runner's lunge, inhale, and exhale, back to our half split. We'll take 2 more breaths like that on your own. Inhale. On your next inhale, come back into that runner's lunge. And walk our foot over to that right side to come into pigeon. Let's build active energy, lifting up through the chest, coming into a slight back bend. On your exhale, come down either to your hands or your forearms. Or rest your head on your forearms as well. Breathing into that hamstring, you may feel a little bit of tightness. Focus on exhaling breath towards it. Inhaling energy back up. On your next inhale, walk your hands back up. Press your palms into the mat. Tuck your right toe. And we'll push that leg back and come into our plank here. Take 2 breaths here. Inhale. Tightening the core. Flexing the feet. 1 more breath. Inhale. Exhale those knees to the ground. Let's make sure that our hands are planted directly under our shoulders, and our knees should be about hips distant apart. On our next inhale, let's kick right leg back, bring it over behind your left leg, and plant it on the floor behind. Push back into that, driving that heel to the ground, and look behind your left shoulder. Take some deep breaths here. Bring that leg back to center, keeping it in the air. And we'll lift that left arm out as well, keeping our arm and our leg parallel to the ground as best we can. If we need to, we can lower that back leg to regain our balance if we need it. On our inhale, lift a little taller. Exhale, swing that right arm behind us. Lift that leg to a 90-degree angle. If you can, grab your left arm and your right foot and bring everything up towards the ceiling. Remember to keep your breath here. Inhale a little bit higher. And exhale, relax. Inhale, a little bit higher. And on your next exhale, release and come back to center. And shake that out. Move your body side to side. And do some C shapes here. Shift your hips to the left and look over your left shoulder. Inhale to center. And shift to the other side. Do that one more time for each side. Inhale to center, and exhale to the other side. Inhale, center, and exhale, C-shape curve to the other side. On our next inhale, come to center. We're gonna do the same thing for the other side. Kick that left leg out. On our exhale, shift our left leg behind the right leg and plant our toes to the floor. Look behind your right shoulder and let's drive that heel to the ground. A nice stretch on the back of our legs while also strengthening the front of our arms. Come back to the breath here. Focus on the sensations you may be feeling. On our next inhale, sweep that leg back to center, still keeping it in the air. And we'll lift that right palm off the floor, directly in front of us, keeping a parallel line from our right, the tips of our fingers to the tips of our toes. Inhale, lift a little bit higher, and exhale, bend that left leg and shift that right arm to the back. Hold here. If you can reach, shift your right arm all the way back to meet those left toes. And if you can, grab your toes, lift a little bit higher. Remember your breath here. Inhale high, and exhale, release back to the ground. Let's move our knees to the outside of our mats, our toes touching. Walk our hands forward to the tops of our mat and slowly lower our hips to the ground for a wide-legged child's pose. You can rest your forehead on the mat, and we'll take a few breaths here. Inhale and exhale. Finding gratitude for the strength within us, for the ability to practice yoga, for the strength of our legs and our bodies to carry us throughout the day. Shift our hips forward, come back into our tabletop, and we'll slowly make our way back into our seated position. Once we're here, we can bring our legs out for a wide-legged forward fold. This can be with your legs, your toes facing the ceiling or pointed. I encourage you to feel what feels best for you. On our next inhale, sweep the arms up, sit tall, and hinge forward at the hips. Go as far as you can without bending your shoulders, and lower, or without bending your back, and lower your hands to the floor. Once you're here, on each inhale, lengthen the spine. And on the exhale, you can walk your hands out just a little bit more. See how far you can lengthen and lower. It's important here to keep your spine as straight as you can. When you start to round the back, You may start to cause pain or injury. You should never feel pain in yoga. Encourage you to, while you're here, flex your toes and point and see what feels best for you today. On your next inhale, walk your hands back up. Let's bring our left leg to the inside of our right leg. And we'll lift to the center. Turn our bodies towards that right foot. And again, we'll lengthen and lower. If you can leave your hands on your shin next to your foot, or even grasp the bottom of your foot. Again, you want to make sure your spine is as straight as it can be. On each inhale, lengthen a little bit higher. And on the exhale, walk your hands out or pull yourself a little bit straighter. We can point and flex our foot and see how that feels. On our next inhale, walk your hands back up into a seated position. Let's straighten that left leg and bring that right leg back into the inner thigh. On our next inhale, bring our hands up. Exhale to the left. Lengthen once more and exhale into our fold. Acknowledge that this side may be a little bit tighter or more flexible than the other, without judgment. Remember to come back to your breathing here. Lengthen on the inhale and exhale. Lower down. On our next inhale, slowly walk your hands back up to center. Let's bring that right leg to the center of our mat and bring the left to meet, the two soles of the feet touching for our butterfly. Let's wrap our hands around the outside of our foot. Open our feet like a book. Make sure that our sit bones are positioned evenly on the ground by rocking back and forth. On our next inhale, sit tall, and exhale. You can place your elbows on your knees or your calves and slowly hinge forward at the hips. It can be difficult to keep our spine straight here. Just remember, it's not about how far you can bend. It's about keeping your spine straight and deepening the stretch that way, safely, without harm. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale. Bring your body a little bit lower. On your next inhale, come back to center and come back into our easy seated position that we started the class with. And we'll take a few closing breaths together. Inhale, hands up, palms together. Bring your hands down to heart center. As you exhale, take one more breath. Inhale. And exhale, your hands to heart center. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you're able to bring a piece of this class with you as you go on throughout your day, wherever you may be now. You can always come back to the breath, something you carry with you at all times. I'll see you next time.